to come together to look at the heroic aspect that relates to all of universal humanity.
So we have a little time left, and am I reading this right? Arun? Is Arun still here?
Yeah.
Did you have a question or comment you'd like to make? Can I?
You not hear me?
Yeah, not too well.
Try and fix your microphone somehow.
Okay, wait a minute. Well,
There.
I'll have to speak loud. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, just,
Better.
just hold the microphone like that. That's good.
Okay, hey, thanks, Jonathan. It's a quote that I remember Mahatma Gandhi saying, and that is that Theosophy is the highest form of Hinduism because it includes universal brotherhood.
Yes.
And I mean, I looked up that quote just now, but then what I got instead was him saying Theosophy is the highest form of Hinduism, and I can't see that he had that universal brotherhood thing there. But having said that, I want the world is already a very divided world, and putting the word nucleus aside, which I see more like the word primordial, meaning that it's a center which spreads. Kirk talked about Vina and not playing in harmony. So there are many things that divide us. It could be politics, sectarian alliance, vaccines, Israel, woke stuff. I belong to the Hamilton Lodge in New Zealand. I'm giving a talk in about Einstein. And it's very Hodgsonian, so it's all about Jeffrey Hodgson. And our branch doesn't like to look at things that way. But look at the quote by Van der Leeuw, where he says the society must cease to be a brotherhood with the exclusion of less desirable brethren. It must break down the barriers which make it possible to speak of an outside world and create a new form of membership which does not involve sectarian allegiance. My point is, generally I avoid politics, any reference to Obama or Trump or flags or anything, but those are the most important things to talk about in this already divided world. So, can someone comment on that? And finally, I don't really agree with Eugene's comment about divide and conquer, because I do see it more like go forth and multiply. So I really don't like the idea of having a centralized control of all our thoughts in the organization.
Right. Okay.
So, Arun, what was your question exactly?
We emphasize the ideas of brotherhood, but there are a lot of things which divide us and exclude brothers who may not be quite thinking the way that we can't have a monopoly on theosophy. You can't exclude people because they are pro-Israel or pro-Trump or whatever. And is it best to just avoid those topics altogether? And how else can you find universal brotherhood?
I'll try. I think that we, we are in our relative sense here. We're not talking about Theosophical yogas and mantras, And so our challenge here is to where we stand, and each of us is, globally or in New Zealand and other places. So we're each in a different geo-energetic, social, political, religious context. And we looking out of the box a little bit, just a tiny bit, is a stretch, just to begin to think in centuries rather than this year, next year, this leader, that leader, or this particular movement. And then looking through that, really look at from the theosophical point of view, even just 100, 200 years from now. We're looking to the future. We're integrating from the past to the future. We're not trying to go back and figure out everything that happened. I don't know, that's my take, you know, we really want to carry this integration forward. And find that greater view, and it can take many forms. We have to be open to all forms, and really let go of the current details will come and go rapidly. So the evanescent rise and fall of various leaders is pretty insignificant in the scheme of things over the next 100, 200, 300 years. So we can look at the new larger cycles opening, kind of the Project 2175, I think would be a good view.
2175. There's a possibility to connect and share your values in the context of caring and compassion and what's going on in each situation that you're in. And I think if you're able to convey and listen and connect with other people and respond in a way that's helpful and beneficial, you're practicing it. It's putting it into action in your everyday life and in the various venues that you are in. To me, that's an integration of one's values, one's thinkings, one's feelings from the heart, and trying to do your best in every situation you encounter with the people that are in your life.
I don't know if Gene or Tim wants to weigh in on this. Oh, he doesn't? Good.
Is Tim
Tim is involved.
Did you
Tim
have
is
that?
involved.
Okay.
I mean, perhaps one thing we realize, I mean, diversity difference is how we live every day. We wear different clothes, we eat different foods, we like different musics, and that does not have to divide us from the point of view of a universal truth. Everyone can have the name they want for their God. They can have their political beliefs because from their point of view, those beliefs may be valid. We don't all live in the same space in our heads. We don't live in the same environment. We don't live in the same country. Every place has its needs. And to the degree that we can understand and listen to the needs of the other is the degree to which we can work despite difference and the appearance of diversity, and recognize that we all have the same needs, we all do the same things. The appearance of difference is really just that. And if we can move beyond the appearance, which is what Theosophical teachings and most more realistic spiritual teachings propose, then having a conversation with each other and celebrating the differences and the way that they approach the divine, or the way that they approach their policies of living, is an honor. It's the learning experience. The doing wrong to another, and we'll put the word wrong in quotes, is a different thing. So rights, justice, that may be something we have to put a stake down on. But most of what we seem to believe is a difference is not really important. As was said, 2175 or 2075 even, you know, these issues may not be of concern. So it's the short and the long view, perhaps, that we have to keep in mind. The difference is standing alone.
You might come to briefly. I'm joining you from France, somebody said all over the country. And I am a philosopher, and I thought about this as a Muslim.
I don't know if we can hear you.
Can't hear you, we might have to go to another person, sorry about that. Sorry.
Dr. Thomas?
Try your audio better?
Yeah, fix something, then come back to us.
Okay, I will, sorry.
Dr. Thomas, are you there?
Yes,
Oh, that was him? Okay, we'll try to come back. So let's see who's left here. Gerald?
No, that's Hyro.
I think you should hear me now. I was on the wrong microphone link. I apologize.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to observe something because I was attracted to come all the way from France because of the idea of the nucleus. And I've been doing some thinking and research whilst you've been talking, and I'm reading the autobiography of Bertrand Russell, philosopher, campaigning against nuclear war. And I'm thinking about, nuclear physics, nuclear war. We're living in a world terrified of nuclear war. We've turned the concept of the nucleus, in this case the atomic nucleus, into a weapon, which is utterly shocking, isn't it?
Yes.
I think what we ought to be thinking about as theosophists who are interested in this is there a sort of nuclear peace? If we could understand what the nucleus is, and it's part of the law of nature, cells, atoms, things come with nuclei. That's part of the design. And every single one of us has trillions of cells in our body, all of which have a nucleus. So each of us is a sort of walking library of nuclear peace. This is what we need to tap into to oppose the misuse of nuclear science for destruction. So I just wanted to throw that in. I'm a specialist in linguistic philosophy and etymology. And I just, it's really important that we discuss how nuclear metaphysics can lead out of this trap of nuclear.
Great.
That's great.
Yes, so go ahead.
Okay, yeah. Well, first of all, Doctor, thank you for fixing your microphone. That was well worth waiting for.
Yes.
So thank you. It was like a really golden comment. And so I'm thinking that, the nuclear atomic everything was invented around 80 years ago, or 90 years ago. But at about the same time, there was another scientist that was working on the kind of nuclear power that you're talking about. And it was Mohandas K. Gandhi, who's been quoted. And he talks about the power of nonviolence, really.
Sure.
And how, and it's interesting that at HPB, when she talks about psychic and noetic action, she talks about that the noetic power is atomic. It's very interesting. She makes a distinction between the atom and the molecule. Well, all these things have evolved in science since then, these definitions. But suffice it to say that the atom is something very pure and very, it's like a high fidelity vibration, you could say, whereas the molecule in this analogy is more heterogeneous. So the pure power of love, you could say, is more homogeneous and more universal. And then you think, oh, well, Gandhi's nice, and it's all very nice. But he started the world's largest democracy. So anybody that says that Gandhi's nice, well, wait a minute, have you started the world's largest democracy, really? So think about what he did. There's nobody can, anybody who doesn't like Gandhi is just nipping at the heels of a giant, even though he only weighs probably 120 pounds. So that's the kind of power that can be unleashed, and that he talked about that, is that the power of love is something to be experimented with, just like any kind of science. And that you're going to find that there's more power in that, the power of harmony, the power of love, and so forth, than any other force in nature. He says, I'm sure of it. So he's almost like challenging future Gandhis to try that, and you have Martin Luther King. Think about the impossible thing that he was able to pull off, just with the power of unconditional love and the power of nonviolence and the discipline in that regard. And trying to think of South Africa. Mandela, what he was able to pull off there. And how he harnessed the whole world, became sympathetic. And so the whole world economically supported him so that he was able, that helped, So.
The trouble is that non-violence people are smaller in number. I was the education director for the Gandhi Foundation in London, working with Lord Attenborough from Kingsley Hall, where Mahatma Gandhi lived when he came to London. And we set up a school of non-violence, which I ran and still run. But violence is so attractive to people. It's on the TV every night. People go to the army. We don't have the institutions and structures for non-violence.
Okay, yeah.
This is a problem.
Yeah, but he did the same thing that the American Revolution. What's going on with this whole thing? We might have to end the meeting if that's going to keep going. Anyway, he really did the same thing that the Americans did 250 years ago, where they kind of whipped the British. The same thing happened. Gandhi with the British, really. So he took on the entire British Empire. That's no small thing.
But he did it through nonviolence.
Did it through nonviolence. Unfortunately, from my understanding, is that Gandhi is not the great hero in India now that he was at the time. And I've even heard so much that he's almost not really welcome to even be spoken about because of the Modi thing, and the sectarianism. So anyway, that's just bad news from the frontier, we'll call it.
I work a lot with the Jain community. They still love Gandhi, just to say.
Good.
Good.
Thank you.
Jains love Gandhi.
The positive.
Thank you for rescuing that one.
Thank you for that remark. That's great. I think the power of love is the next thing we should explore.
Okay, there we go. So this isn't the last Vancouver 5.
Oh.
The power of love.
There's a great song, The Power of Love.
Yeah. And the band is called the Vancouver 5. Got to put the band back together. Wear sunglasses and go to meet in New Orleans.
Well, so I think we're running out of time now.
Yeah.
Right?
Thank you, April.
And I thank everyone for participating and listening and our move to consider this idea of the power of love that we kind of came to at the end of this meeting. How we can do that in ourselves.
Beautiful. Thank you, everybody on the panel. And Dr. Thomas, could you reply to the email? I want to email you, if you don't mind.
Well, he might.
You mean in the chat?
Well, actually, did you get the email as an invite?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Could you reply to that? I want to.
Sure. Yeah.
If you don't mind. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for your contributions.
No, thank you all for keeping going. And bon nuit from France. And happy solstice. I'm also involved with the Druid community.
Yes, that's wonderful.
So we are celebrating solstice at Stonehenge right tonight.
Oh, right.
They send their love and blessings. I'm the Archdruid of the Peace Druids of Britain.
So, all right.
Amongst other hats, just to say. Who were sworn to non-violence. I don't know if you knew that. The Druids, like Jains, were not allowed to fight. They were the intelligences that directed the pursuit of justice through dialogue, discussion, mediation. We know that about the Druids, and I'm sort of reviving that tradition in the Celtic world.
Nice job.
Nice job.
It's a big job, yeah, but,
Somebody's got to do it.
Well, that's right, yeah. I do my bit. So, look, yeah, bless you all, and you need it in San Diego, don't you, because of all this mosque shootings and God knows why.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
All kinds of stuff.
All right, thanks, panel. Thanks to Tim. I'll email, but thank you all.
Right, ciao.
Yeah, right.
Thanks, everybody, for coming. Thank you, April, so much.
Well,
Sorry this was so hard to see.
that's okay. I'm just getting used to everything. The
Yeah.
power of love.
Oh, yeah.
That's what we ended up.
Yeah.
It's really interesting to see the process unfold. Like how you never know.
I'm going to end the thing here.
Oh, the best way to end the meeting back there. And so you can hit escape, that's the first thing, to make it so you can try to again. And then, we put the thing, the red thing that says end the meeting.